We are going to start our IREAD practice for today. Remember, in-person students are taking IREAD next week. Virtual students are taking IREAD on March 16th. We are practicing these skills so you feel ready when it is test day. Please click on activities. Click on assign to class folder. Red ELA. Our practice today is called IREAD practice, IDOE. Go ahead and click add response. And open up our tasks. Today we are going to start by working with a partner, and we are going to complete slides 1 through 8. When you get to slide 8 and you're done with it, you will see slide number 9 says stop, because then we need to do something together. So we're going to start by working with a partner, and you're going to work on slides 1 through 8. If you get done with slide 8, you can be working on your Black History Month or Lexia until I'm ready for all of us to be on the stop sign together. Okay? I'm going to ask a few more friends to jump on Zoom so we can do some partner work with friends in person and friends on Zoom. I'm going to ask Honesty to get on Zoom and Nick to get on Zoom. Everybody else, you may continue just being on Seesaw. All right, I'm looking for third graders who can help teach and be ready to share out each answer. Angela, get your stuff so you're ready to check your work. You are checking your work on every slide as we go over this together. Number 1, Kaylee. The vowel sound as sad is crash. You are checking your work as we go.
How is it crash?
The vowel in sad says ah. It's the short sound. It's the same vowel as ah. So it's talking about the vowels in the word. Add, crash. It's that ah sound. Which one? This says chart. Wait, what did you say? This says chart. That's not respectful at all. Not respectful at all. You don't get to choose to be disrespectful. It's an expected behavior that we respect students and teachers. Thank you. No, I don't respond to people telling me what to do. If you need space, that's okay. But in here, we're respectful. I don't respond to people telling me what to do. You make your choice, please. This one says chart, so it says R. The first one says A. This one says A. So sad and crash are the same vowel sound. Slide number 2. Who's got it? Landon.
Unhappy.
We're looking for synonyms. Sad and unhappy mean about the same thing. You're checking your work. Friends on Zoom are checking their work as we go. Number 3, we're looking for the opposite. To give away, neighborly. Take is the opposite. To take is opposite of to give. I'm focusing my attention. Students are too. Lena, put your mask on. Be ready. Slide number 4, Gloria. To train your dog is a verb, right? But also a train is a noun. The train is coming down the tracks. To train is a verb, or it's also a noun. That's why we can use it in 2 different ways. I saw lots of hands ready for that one. That's awesome. Sit up and be ready. Checking your work. Make sure you've got them correct. Number 5. Honesty.
Careless.
Careless. Less is a suffix. Suffix go at the end of a word. Careless. Haley, did you have careless?
Oh, I had quicker.
Okay. Careless. Less is the suffix. Great job, Haley, being willing to share out. Checking your work. Number 6. There's 2 on number 6. Day, go ahead. Close the front door so the warm air stays inside. Anyone for the second one? Nick? If you're cold, you want to put on a sweater. Awesome. We had friends on Zoom and in person willing to teach. Great job. Slide number 7 was a text called Snow Hopper. And slide number 8 had questions about that. These questions were a little bit tricky. They didn't have a ton to do with the text, but that's okay. The author writes that no one knows for certain where snow fleas go. Which of these words means the opposite of certain? This is a harder one, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Day? Unsure. So if you're certain, you really know, you know something, you're sure of it. So the opposite is I'm unsure, I don't know. Okay, that was a tricky one. Number 8. Yep.
I don't read at all.
You got to read the directions. I'm glad you are recognizing that. I need to do that too. I need to do a better job. Number 8, which of these sentences from the passage best tells where the snow fleas search for food? So again, the author is using this type of punctuation. It's called a quotation mark. That means they're taking a sentence from the text. They're saying what the author said. So all of these are quotations. So it's saying which sentence from the passage or text best tells what? Where snow fleas search for food.
Who is that? Who is that?
So when you're reading each sentence, you're thinking, does this sentence tell me where they search for food? This is kind of like attacking the question. Where is my question word? Where what? Do snow fleas search for food? And I have to read each one. So A, lift up your hand and snow fleas jump off. Okay, it has nothing to do with them eating food, so I can cross it out. B, they look like grains of pepper popping up and down. They're popping up and down. It's not talking about them looking for food, and it's not talking about where. It doesn't say anything about a place. That doesn't make sense. When the hooks open, the tails spring out, and the snow flea leaps up.
Oh, no.
In the winter, snow fleas chew dead leaves and plants buried beneath the snow. Ooh, chewing.
Yeah.
Right? I know that has something to do with food. And I'm guessing maybe they're eating leaves and buried beneath the snow. They go under to find the plants. I think D is best.
Let's go, bro.
I think D is best. Thumbs up if you chose D.
I chose D.
Good. That was a tricky one. Good job.
Oh, I mean,
Huh?
we
went back in the passage and we highlighted that.
Awesome. Maberly says she went back to the text looking for evidence. That's awesome. Remember, sometimes the author will give you the evidence if they're saying a quotation mark.
that is cat.
On our nose. Thank you. Okay, so this is the stop sign. This is the part where we're going to work together. Excuse me. We are going to go to a website to practice what the IREAD test will look like. So we just did the learning. We practiced the skills right here. But now it's time to practice what it will look like next week for in-person students, and then on the 16th of March for virtual students. So the next slide gives us some directions. You may click on slide number 10 now. We're going to do these steps together because we've never been to this website before. This is a new website. So click on number 10, please. And the first thing we're going to do is up at the top. It says IREAD online practice test. So right here, I'm highlighting in yellow. There's a link. I want you to please click this link and it will open a new tab. And then you need to pause. Show me a thumbs up when you have this open.
I do not have a stuff brought up.
I can't tell that we're ready to move on unless people do what I asked. Show me a thumbs up when you have this open. I cannot move on unless I know that everybody has it. Show me a thumbs up when you have this. I will now say it a fourth time. I don't understand how I'm not respected as the teacher. Show me a thumbs up when you have this. I'm not talking to you, honey. I'm talking to people who are not paying attention. Theo, do you have this page? Show me a thumbs up, please. I can't see your screen. So this is your signal to say I'm ready. Okay, that helps us move on faster. Okay, so now we're all on the sign in page. Thank you. Our next step says you will not need to log in. The next step we're going to do is right here. We're going to click the green sign in button. Let's do that together. Ugh, sorry about this. So go down here, push the green sign in. And then wait. Okay, thumbs up if you got that.
Not because I passed that.
I'm looking for respect. I show respect to you, you show respect back to me. The right thing to do. Kaylee, do you have it? It's hard to tell when you're playing with your shirt. Okay, next job is to push these down, these arrows here. And we're going to select 3 because we're in 3rd grade. Select 3. Because we are in 3rd grade, and then wait right there. Okay, and then you'll see lots of different colors here. There's some green ones, there's some purple ones. We're gonna go to the purple ones. Okay, and then the one that we're going to choose today, I'm going to circle it for us. It's at the bottom right. And it says start the 1920 IREAD 3. We're looking for that IREAD test. When you find this one, you may click it. Everybody found it? You got it? Anyone need it longer?
Yeah.
Okay, click it. You got it, Angela?
Yep.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to click it too. Since everybody's ready. Okay. All right, and let's check our next step here. Okay, perfect. All right, the next job is this green button that says select. You may push it, push green, select. And then the next step is this green, begin test now. Remember, this is not the real IREAD test. This is just a practice so you can see sort of what it looks like, okay? So let's push the green, begin test now. What?
It's the same thing as seesaw.
You will notice that these problems are the same thing we just did on Seesaw. So what we did was we practiced the learning first. Now I just want you to notice what the IREAD test looks like. Look at the screen. This is exactly what the test will look like. Here it says question number 1. It's got a question for you to read and you will choose your answer. We already said we know it's crash. So let's go through these together and let's practice clicking our correct answers.
How do we go down?
Green. Green again.
Oh, nice.
Continue.
This run away. Oh, and then mine isn't working like it was.
How do you help? How do you go down?
Sorry for that pause and instruction. Okay, the problems we have already done on Seesaw, so we don't need to spend a long time reading them, but I want you to notice what the screens look like. So your question is in the middle, you pick your correct answer, and then you can click your next arrow to go to the next question. Okay, and then here's the same question. We already did this one on Seesaw. So choose the word that means the same or about the same as the underlined word. We chose unhappy, right?
Right.
This is what it will look like on the IREAD test. When you're done choosing your answer, you click next and go to your next question. This screen is exactly what IREAD will look like, okay? So now you know what the website looks like. You know about the next arrows. I want you to choose your answers and go all the way to the end. Some of you are already there, so you can just wait a minute. Choose your answers. Keep clicking through it. Remember, we already did these problems together. Choose your answers that we went over together. Notice how some of them, you need to scroll down to see the whole page, right? Always scroll down to see, did I answer all of the questions? Choose your answers, keep going. And then let's stop at this page to talk about it for a minute.
Miss Runaway.
Get to number 7 and let's talk about number 7. I don't think so. I'm not sure why it does that. Okay, on IREAD, what we haven't seen yet, what you're seeing right now on slide number 7, is what the text will look like. On IREAD, they will show you the text right next to the question. They will show you the text on one side, probably the left side, and your questions will be right next to it. So notice I can only see some of my text right now. I have to use the bar to scroll down to read my whole text. And then over here, I need to make sure that I can scroll and make sure I've answered all the questions. So this is what IREAD passages will look like. You will have a text to the left, and you will need to use the scroll bar to scroll down to read the whole text. I want you to practice that now. Can you scroll down and get to the bottom of the text? And then you can choose your answer. After you choose your answer and you go to next, notice now we're on question 8. Question 8 has the same text next to it. This is what you will see on IREAD. You will read a text and then the question will change, but the text might be the same. Then they might give you a new text to read with new questions. So you always need to make sure you're looking carefully at the text and you're scrolling down all the way to get to the bottom of the text. Okay, same thing with your questions. Then when you move your mouse over, you can scroll down to make sure you've seen the entire whole question. Yes, Maberly. Like this? Awesome. So as Maberly is experimenting with the tools on the IREAD website, she's clicking the arrows to say, oh, I can make it bigger to read it more carefully, but now I can't see my question. Some people want to see both, but maybe you want to make it bigger to read first. Then you want to make the text smaller to look for your evidence. Okay, so when you take the IREAD test, this is what it will look like. And on Monday, when we come back to school, we're going to take the real practice test. We're going to take the real practice test to make sure everybody feels ready for the IREAD test. Virtual students, next week, I will send a message. You are going to be doing some other IREAD practice because remember, virtual students don't test until March 16th. We're testing on different days, in-person students and virtual students. Okay, that's to help keep everybody safe this year. So in-person students will take the practice next week and we're going to test next week. You guys on Zoom are going to keep practicing. And then when it's your time, I'll give you guys the test so that you can pass it as well. Okay, when you get to the end, question 8 is the end. If you push next, it says, attention, you have reached the end of the test. So you can say, okay, right? And then we can push the red end test. We say, yes, we're done.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, and this is what the screen will look like at the end. This shows you that you have answered all the questions. If you missed a question, it will be like, hey, you missed this question, right? So this review screen tells you you are done, that you've answered all of the questions. And this is an important step. When you take IREAD, you will submit the test with the teacher. When you reach the end of the test, you will stay on this screen. You will raise your hand and say, I'm finished. And the teacher will check, okay, you've answered all of them. And together, you and the teacher will push the submit test. Okay? Together, we'll say, okay, you have permission to submit. We don't want any students submitting on their own, just in case you missed a question. We want to make sure that you have answered all the questions. Yes, Theo.
How many questions?
Yes, Theo. Okay. Yes, Dave. You didn't have this?
No.
Did you push end test?
Yeah.
Mrs. Renelli?
Yes, go ahead.
So when I was on slide A, I had some trouble trying to get the end test button.
Okay, the friends in here are saying the same thing, so I'm not sure what's going on with the practice, but just so you know, on the real test, When you get to the end, it will look like this. When you get to the real IREAD test, the last thing will look like this. And when you see this page, you'll raise your hand and the teacher will say, okay, you have permission to click green submit. And then you'll click it. Okay? So the important message is no students click submit without the teacher. You have to do that with the teacher, okay? Okay, we have reached the end of our IREAD practice for today. There is, let's go back to Seesaw for a second, please. Okay, on your Seesaw task, there is no independent work. We have done all of the IREAD practice for today. You have seen the website. I don't understand why people are making sounds and tapping when I'm speaking. Be respectful. There's no independent task for today. You may have a couple of choices. You can work on catching up on Lexia units. You can work on your Black History Month presentation, adding to your slide, making it colorful, creative, checking your capital letters and periods. Or you can do some independent reading. So there is no Seesaw work for you to finish. Right now, we can all push the green check and turn it in together. You may push the green check and turn it in. And your options for work today are independent reading, Lexia, or Black History Month. Okay, I will be on at 10:30 for math. I will see you at 10:30 for math.